Hi, beautiful people. Reverend Teresa Garcia, and today I want to talk to you about food and your vessel. So your vessel is this body, right? And what I'm here to tell you is what you're made of is creating your vibrational frequency. And you're made of what you eat, right? And so, for many years I was a hardcore vegan, and I'm not here to pitch any diet at all. I'm now a carnivore. The only thing that I want to encourage you to do is consider the ingredients that you're consuming. And this is so important because our body, our cells, and our blood have the ability to hold light. However, that is either strengthened or diminished by what we're fueling ourselves with. So, with that said, I highly encourage whole foods, regular vegetables and fruits, and a variety of them. One of my favorite things to do, and this takes some practice, and there are many people that say that we can't do this for ourselves, but I think that is a lie. And have I muscle, and I'm talking about muscle testing, by the way. And so what I do, let me grab a food. Okay. What I do is I grab the food, I hold it to my power center, I relax my knees, and I ask, my higher self, this food is good for me. Body wants this. Whatever words you feel drawn to, what I encourage you to do is say it in an affirmative statements. So this is good for me. This is not good for me. This helps my digestion. This doesn't, or we don't want to use doesn't. You want to use complete words and not the I forget what they're called, but the half words that like didn't and don't and all of those things. Conjunction words is what I believe they are. And so you want to say it in an affirmative way. This supports my natural health. This causes me bloating. Whatever the question you have, put it into a statement and start asking your body. And what will happen is you'll notice that you pull forward for truth and you retract and kind of fall back when there's a lie. And there's a lot of different ways to muscle test. Another way is to go like this with your two fingers, and you basically say a truth. You want your chin perpendicular to the floor, and you might say, my name is Teresa, and my name is Michelle. And you're using the same amount of force, but when you're telling a lie, you'll notice that it kind of breaks, because when you're lying, the muscles are weak. And so this can be tricky because your ego or your trauma can sound like truth. So I highly recommend seeking professional help in the beginning, and maybe talking with a kinesiologist or doing some genetic testing. Like I've done Viome, and I love them. It takes a little bit of time for you to get the results, but they'll tell you what your superfoods are, what your biological age is, and all of that fun stuff. Or you can find someone like me who's certified in kinesiology that can muscle test or nutrition response testing and can see what foods and what supplements are serving you. And the reason why I added supplements to that is because many of us are taking supplements because of their marketing and not understanding how they're affecting our health. And so it's really important to understand what you're putting in your food and whether it is right for you, because the path for one that made someone super fit and strong and lightful is not the same path for another person. We are unique individual vessels. And when we honor our vessel, that means that we are giving our body everything that it needs and wants, and we're minimizing, or I don't believe in completely eliminating, right? And that's just my personal path, but I deeply minimize the junk. And so, with that said, I have been on a little bit of a hiatus because I had, my son was in a crisis situation and there was just a lot going on. And so I wasn't making videos because it didn't feel authentic in that moment. And so what I noticed is my son actually attacked me as well. He's 22, nonverbal. And so I was really stressed, right? And so I ate a bunch of donuts and crap. I was like a donut fiend. But I don't do that on the regular. And so once in a while, I truly believe it's okay. Of course, I fasted afterwards and cleansed my body, cleansed my guts, purified with some apple cider vinegar, right? And so do I mess up on my diet? Yes, but I don't really believe in diets. I choose healthy foods, and at times I'm conscious if I'm emotionally eating. And how do you know if you're eating emotionally? It's when you are having intense cravings and you're under a lot of stress. And so we turn to food in that moment, and I'm not shaming or judging myself when I do that. I'm like, okay, I'm eating emotionally. This too shall pass. And I'm going to enjoy it to the best of my ability while I'm in that moment. Because what you resist, you persist. So anything you're resisting, you are going to energetically keep persisting that. And so I'm a huge fan of moderation and mainly whole foods. And the reason that this started was because I realized that if we don't have an 80% good bacteria, healthy bacteria, 20% bad bacteria ratio, we create an environment for parasites. And once we create those parasites, it is extremely difficult to get rid of them. And now I fast and I do a lot of things proactively so that I don't have that buildup, right? Because they take over your life and they're a tool of the darkness to keep you, unfortunately, fat, sick, inflamed, and tired. And that's how I spent the majority of my life. So and you can get, when I get my fresh vegetables, I cleanse them in vinegar, my vegetables and my fruit. And, I wouldn't do that with a banana, but of course an apple, right? Oopsies. So that is my message today. Ask yourself, is my diet, is my habits with food contributing to my health or not? Because if we're not, everything we put in our mouth is either adding value to it or taking value from it. And so you want to have a good ratio of adding value to it and minimize the things that deplete it. And so that is my invitation for you today. I hope you have a lovely, lovely day. And just know on this lovely Thanksgiving that's coming up, I'm going to eat whatever I want. And afterwards, I'm going to fast and let my body cleanse it out and give my body a chance to recoup from whatever it is I decide to indulge in. So more power to you, many blessings to you, and all that you do.